Recently, Dr. Wolf did a video talking about a topic that a lot of people have talked about before. And that is whether or not Shadowplay could have worked better as a movie than as a two-part special. And a lot of people brought up this topic even after the MLP movie came out. Why? Well, nothing against what we got as far as the movie is concerned. No, nothing against the movie itself. But I think what people were trying to get at is that when you compare the two, Shadowplay had a lot more going for it than the movie. I mean, the movie was, well, the movie. But here's where I think some people, and I mentioned this before, and I'm sure others have brought this up, where potentially others kind of missed the point about the movie. You see, again, here's where I think potentially some people missed the point about the movie. But again, here's where I think some people missed the point about the movie. The movie wasn't just made to cater to the established fan base. No. It was also made to entice and cater to the casual movie-going fan base. That's what it was made for. It was made to basically be enjoyed by the casual movie fan base as well, who didn't know about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic as much as the fans did. That's why it was made. That's why it was made the way it was. However, I will agree that from a dedicated fan base perspective, Shadowplay, in a sense, had more story to it, and in a way had more story built into it than what we got with this. So I'm not disagreeing with the fact that story-wise, as far as the established fan base is concerned, that it didn't have more story to going for it than, well, the actual movie itself. However, I believe that if there's any time for a movie to be made, if you will, if there's any opportunity for a movie to be made based on a series finale, potentially, that opportunity would be season 9, which is potentially the final season. You see, as I mentioned in one video, and I'll link that video down below, you have opportunity there to really make this finale to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, if that's what season 9 is going to be. You have an opportunity to make it memorable. And what I mean by that is you have the opportunity to do something that's going to make DHX decide whether or not, hey, maybe we could do another additional season. Or, hey, maybe we need to make Gen 5 just as good, if not better, in some areas than Friendship is Magic. And at the same time, not only make them think that, but make them think, okay, we don't want to have the same kind of issues we had with Friendship is Magic, where, where we had plot holes so opened that we have yet to resolve them. Because one thing I mentioned in that video about Season 9 and its finale is that throughout Season 9, you need to use it as the season that finally answers all the questions fans have been wanting answered. Finally tackles theories and speculations that fans have had, from Rarity Spike, Pinky and Applejack being related or not, Luna and Celestia's origins, all that. And Season 9, if that's the finale, is the ultimate opportunity to do so. But I also said one other thing. The other thing that I brought up was the fact that you could use Season 9 as an overall arching story arc. That's what I was getting at. As an overall bridging story arc. And what I meant by that was you could use the ending of the second part of the season 9 premiere, because we know they're probably going to do a two-parter for the final season premiere. We know that pretty much is a given. But what I was saying is that you use that end of that second part of the season 9 premiere, and you use that to start building, use it as your foundation to start building to, you start using that to build towards the series finale. That's what you do. You start using that to build to the series finale. And that throughout season 9, you can use other episodes to help build to that moment. You can end up doing that. You can end up building to that moment throughout the season, because because you have used the ending of season 9 as your catalyst, as your foundation. Like I said, you're using season 9 as the second part of the season 9 premiere as your foundation to begin the process to the finale. And at every other episode, you use that, or you use then afterwards every other episode to get to that finale, to help continue to build to that finale, just like they did in season 4 in a sense. Well, they would use every other episode to get to the season 4 finale, because that's what they were building towards. And the same can be said here. The same can be said here. You could do that here, and just like in season 4, it could work. It can end up working in a very positive way. I also mentioned in the video the way they could do this, the story that they can use to build to this. And that is, you bring in a character from G1 known as Majesty, a character that Silver-Quill brought up in a video he did last year with I Love KP a lot. But you don't bring her in as a unicorn, no. You bring her in as a rogue alicorn. You bring her in as a rogue alicorn that has embraced the darkness, and in fact is responsible for the creation of the darkness, the very same darkness that created the Pony of Shadows, that created and corrupted Luna into Nightmare Moon. And if you want to add a little bit of comic book continuity and connection to it, you can also refer to the fact that it also corrupted Rarity into Nightmare Rarity. You could potentially do that. Potentially you can do that, and it would work. It would work, because then basically what you would be doing is you would be revealing who this character is at the end of part 2 of at the end of the second part of your premiere, and you'd be using her in some shape or form throughout every other episode, or her influential actions in every other episode to build to that finale. Heck, one idea I came up with is she can gather a lot of the antagonists that are still out there, from Iron Will, Turek, Crystalis, Garble, Cabanero, and Wind Rider, and maybe Lightning Dust, gather them together to go up against the main 6 or the main 7 and try to get back at the main 6 or 7 for humiliating them, for defeating them and all that, for taking them down. And that in a way could work as well. That could work as well, because potentially what you're doing is you're bringing all these situations, all these rivalries and whatever you have, you're bringing everything finally full circle. So when you get down to it, if that is done, if season 9 is done the way I'm suggesting, then the finale that you're building towards with that moment started at the end of the second part of your premiere, and you gradually build towards it with every other episode. That finale, in a sense, where you have Majesty along with all the antagonists and villains that she's brought together, going up against Twilight and her friends and allies and the other princesses, with the future of Equestria on the line, and essentially a huge battle for friendship, that right there would be worthy of a television movie. That right there would be the moment that Hasbro and Discovery family could actually break the mold and say, you know what? We're not going to do a 2-part finale. We're going to do a made-for-television movie finale on the Saturday, on that Saturday morning in which the finale airs. Instead of doing 2 parts, we're doing a full-length movie. And you know what? It would work. It would work because you built towards it. You have the history behind it. You have everything that's needed to help make it into the finale you want it to be. And you know what? I wouldn't blame Hasbro, DHX, or Discovery Family for making that happen. I would not blame them because they know they would potentially have a gold mine on their hands if they go that direction. And they know also if they're going to thank the fans for making My Little Pony Friendship is Magic what it is today, the pop culture phenomenon that it is, then this is the best way to do it. Heck, I even suggested in that one video that you could throw in other moments that tie in with this finale. You know, Big Mac Sugar Bell's wedding, because obviously you're building towards that. Potentially Celestia ascending to a higher plane to be with the ancestral ponies and alicorns of the past to watch over Equestria, and she needs a successor in her place, and that successor is Twilight. So, overall, when one thinks about it, if there's ever a time for a finale to be showcased not as a 2-parter but as a movie, the final season finale, the final series, or the series finale, I should say, is the best time. It is the best time to do it. So, hopefully they do that, and maybe we might get something out of it. That gets us hyped for Generation 5. But that's all I'm going to say on it, folks. Let me know what you thought down below. I apologize if I rambled a little bit here and was repetitive, but let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to y'all later. I got to get in the shower, get ready for work.